Hello, I'm Michael Burke. Welcome to a brand new series of royal recipes. This time we're at Westonbirt House, formerly a grand country house, now a boarding school, which has played host to royal visitors for over 100 years. In this series we're delving even further.
The Queen loves her annual holiday north of the border, when she spends the month of August at Balmoral. Reportedly her favourite residence, it's possibly the one place where she can relax.
Whether she's holidaying at Balmoral or on royal duties elsewhere, it's said that the Queen never leaves home without a supply of her favourite mineral water. But she's not the only royal to have developed a particular fondness for water from a little corner of Worcestershire.
The Malvern Hills, an area of outstanding natural beauty. For centuries, locals, famous figures like Charles Darwin, Charles Dickens, and our own royal family have appreciated the region's water for its taste and alleged healing properties. It bubbles up from about 70 natural springs around here. One of them, the Holywell, is believed to be the site of the oldest bottling plant in the world. Water's been collected here since the 1600s. It's a centuries-old tradition that current owner Mike Hum is happy to continue.
This is called Jubilee Hill, and this is where the Holywell spring comes up, through the Precambrian rock, which is the hardest rock in England. And it's that hard that it doesn't shed any minerals into the water, therefore it explains the purity. There's an outlet of the Holywell spring further up the hill, which is called the Eye Well. It's called the Eye Well because 11th century monks used to wash people's eyes with it, thus the purity of the water.
By the middle of the 19th century, Malvern was a bustling spa town, with the great and the good coming here to take the waters. Even Queen Victoria visited. But the area was truly put on the map when water bottled by Schweppes at the Holywell site flowed from a magnificent glass fountain at the Great Exhibition of 1851. The bottling operation at Holywell changed hands around the turn of the 20th century, and water continued to be collected there until the 1950s. It then lay undisturbed until Mike rediscovered it decades later.
We acquired the well pretty much by accident. We were buying the cottage next door, and we found out that the well was in the sale. It's pretty derelict, but we renovated it. Over time, we've discovered how important the Holywell spring was and the water, the history that it had, the provenance that it had. So in 2008, we started the company, and in 2009 started bottling.
Mike now runs this as a business and is determined that stories about the provenance of the Holywell are kept alive.
The water first came into history in 1558 when Queen Elizabeth I granted the rights of the water to the Lord of the Manor, providing he gave rest and refreshment to travellers, because this was a pilgrimage route to St David's in Wales. And when the building was built in 1851, these two rooms were set aside here for refreshment and next door for rest. The first bottling took place in 1644, and there was, in fact, in the 17th century, this poem that was written, Lord in the Water, and it was a song actually, but I'm not going to sing it. 1,000 bottles there were filled weekly, and many costrels rare, for stomachs sickly. Some of them into Kent, some of them to London sent, others to Berwick went, oh praise the Lord. You know, this shows to me how important the water must have been to everybody in this country at the time.
It's believed Queen Victoria never travelled without water from the Malvern Hills. In 1895, her cousin Princess Mary Adelaide granted a royal warrant to water bottled in the region. And the current Queen's grandfather, George V, handed down a second warrant in 1911. The flow rate from the spring varies, but the water has never been known to dry up, though Mike and his team can be reasonably confident of having a steady supply.
This is the bottling plant, probably the smallest bottling plant you'll ever see. We access the water over here, and the spring flows through around the walls and into the two tanks. From the tanks, it's pumped through a UV filter to kill any nasties that might be in the water, and into the bottling machine. From the filler, we go to the capper and onto the table for stamping with the date code and into the packing case. Even today, we still supply water to the Queen. In October 2013, our local MP, Harriet Baldwin, had tea with the Queen and took along a gift of water. And she received a letter of thank you in reply. The Queen has asked me to thank you for the kind gift of Springwater, which Her Majesty was pleased to receive. This message comes to you with the Queen's good wishes. So if it's okay for the Queen, it's okay for everyone.